Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. This channel is to give people a better understanding of Somalia in today's global society and hopefully give you a more insight what Somalia is trying to achieve in the near future. In this video, I'll be discussing on the topic of what's next for Somalia. First things first, President has been elected and he goes by the name of Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. The expectations are high and he has appointed his Prime Minister, and in return the Prime Minister has selected his cabinet, which has been approved by Parliament. Before we move any further, if President Formaggio and the Prime Minister during his tenure are watching this, thank you for all your hard work and the peaceful transition of power. I have a feeling you'll all be back to running for office in other capacities to help Somalia move forward. The reason for having high expectations in Hassan Sheikh Mohamud is due to the fact he has held this mantle before and comes with vast experience. In September 2012, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud was elected as the president of the Somali federal government, and at the time, the president had a six-pillar policy, which were secure progress in areas of stability, economic recovery, peace building, service delivery, international relations, and lastly, unity. Assessing his performance, if we use the six-pillar policy as a benchmark against which the government can be evaluated, the achievements are modest. At the time of his tenure on peace building, the government has attempted to rejuvenate security entities by appointing new heads. Various initiatives have been taken to address the fundamental flaws. It remains a work in progress, but it's fair to say that all security agencies remain chronically weak. The command and control were poor, salaries were routinely delayed, equipment was scarce, and morale among the security service personnel were frighteningly low. It is therefore no surprise that Al-Shabaab was and still is capable of penetrating and striking at the heart of the government, as manifested by the deadly attack on the first day of 2014, which targeted Jazeera Hotel, arguably the second most important target in Mogadishu. Among the dozen people killed in the attack were two district police commissioners. In the subsequent matters in hand, the militants were able to carry out inside the perimeters of the heavily guarded presidential palace in Mogadishu. They also assassinated members of parliament and other government officials. Al-Shabaab overall's capacity to wage asymmetrical warfare is undiminished. Despite losing significant territory over the past 2 years, the group is still controlling large swathes of land in south and central Somalia. On reconciliation, the government deserves a passing grade. During his time, the president of the federal government of Somalia signed a deal with the Kenyan-backed militia over the strategic port town of Kismayo. After the initial hesitation, the federal government of Somalia demonstrated maturity and pragmatic political calculation. In signing the deal, it potentially averted a slow annexation of what is called now Jubaland. Still, another vital element of the sixth policy remains elusive, which is sustainable peace. In the last quarter of 2013, Clan 4 had flared up in the last three regions, Lower Shabelle, Middle Shabelle, and Hiran. Dozens have been killed and 10,000s were displaced. Although the government doesn't seem to have a direct role in the fighting, senior government officials have been implicated. Rival clans are accusing the government at the time of backing one clan over the other. To their credit, members of parliament and cabinet have attempted to find a common ground among warring clans, but those efforts have thus far failed to yield positive results. Thus, underlying factors such as land disputes and deep mistrust among clans have not been addressed. President Mohamud's government has registered measurable success in the international relations. The engagement of partial lifting of the UN arms embargo and the increase of number of African Union peacekeepers are all the result of robust diplomatic engagement by the federal government. In terms of service delivery, the FGS has also made some progress. Together with the United Nations, it launched a Go to School program aimed at sending 1 million kids to school across the country. Despite being overly optimistic, the program has succeeded in registering thousands of students into schools and recruiting hundreds of teachers, the first since the Civil War. That said, the overall service delivery of the 2012 federal government is not encouraging. Basic health facilities were non-existent or poorly operated. Vital government functions such as water and electricity are monopolized by the private sector at a prohibitive cost. Basic infrastructure remains in shambles despite improvements from the help of Turkey. To conclude, this time, the president will need to tackle insecurity, rising inflation, and severe drought, while building trust in a country polarized by infighting between the federal and regional governments. Furthermore, the government in power needs to implement policies that focuses on security and stability, not running just in Mogadishu but within all the states it governs. Once those are in place, simultaneously the catastrophic drought will be addressed and the private sector will in return provide economic growth. The people within Somalia and outside Somalia are just yearning for this change. Hopefully, this video has left some food for thought for those of you watching this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.